Good afternoon and welcome to the Claude and the Banstas on this lovely Tuesday afternoon. This is the Will Klopp or Arteta get chopped, and Craig will be joining us very, very shortly, and we will be going live.
Thomas, it's up for grabs now! Thomas! Right at the end! And it's Tony Adams put through by Steve Ball. Would you believe it? Patrick is in for Arsenal and sweeps it home. It's bergkamp. That's magnificent. He stripped it away from Tom. Henry! And it's Arsenal! Arsenal FC! It's my fancy! It's time to go!
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Claude and the Banstas. And Craig, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well.
I'm good, but hang on. Let's just stop right here for a second. Whose body double did you use for your UFC image there, buddy? Come on now, fucking hell. I mean, I take the piss at times, but that's like me jumping up there full on McGregor, like.
I wish I had the bowl like him, you know what I mean, and got it done like that. That would have been brilliant coming on the screen like that, you know what I mean? Listen, you're definitely right there, Craig. It is a body double. You've seen my body, and it's not that great, let's be honest. So
I'm good though, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. I'm really good. It's good to see the sun out. I don't know if it's sunny where you are, Craig.
Piss and rain over here, buddy.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry, mate. The sun is beautiful out here. We've got blue skies. The sun's out. Obviously, the announcement yesterday, it seems like, you know what I mean, we're getting there. We're getting to the end of it now, hopefully, come June. Hopefully, we can all start going back on holiday, getting back in the pubs and things like that. Let's just hope it stays down and we sort of get rid of it, mate.
We're complete again. It's piss and rain over here in that sense as well, buddy, because we're on lockdown now again. We're going for probably May minimum before we even look at anything over here, and that's not opening up. Yeah. But look, it is what it is. I was delighted for you guys yesterday when I heard that announcement. Am I a little bit jealous? Yeah, I got to be honest about it. I'm just glad to see people back in stadiums, though, man. That's one of the first things, to see people back inside the stadiums. It looks like last game of the season, and then potentially the cup finals and stuff. So, you know, we won't have to worry about cup finals at our end unless it's, of course, Istanbul. But yeah, look. It'll be great. It'll be great. Give us something to look forward to next season. As you said, hopefully we all get off on our jolly bobs at some point this year and get a little break from this.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know, look, the rules have been, you know what I mean, there for a reason, and we've all hopefully adhered to them, and you know what I mean. But I'm just dying to go on holiday now, Craig.
Yeah, we've had 3 different holidays that we've kept moving and cancelling. Like, it started one holiday, obviously, but just kept moving. So to play ultra safe, what we did was cancel the family holiday altogether. And myself and my wife both turned 40 this year. So, you know, we planned for years to have this big, crazy adventure to Australia or something. So that's in the bin. So we booked Lanzarote for a week in January for us two. And then hopefully hoping we get away with the kids November or December, maybe somewhere back over to Florida or something.
Yeah, no, exactly, mate. We've been exactly the same. We had Cape Verde booked last year. We've moved it to May this year. And obviously, the international holidays still are not going to be until at least May anyway. So that's going to have to be put back again. We've already cancelled Venice, but we're hopefully going to be able to get to New York again in late November, December. I mean, that's already booked, but we just don't know yet. That's the problem, Craig. You know what I mean? It was just a wait in, and now hopefully we've got the go ahead, and it's just a matter of now of getting it all over and done with, everyone being vaccinated, hopefully, and getting back to some sort of normality, mate. Yeah,
it's been tough, hasn't it? Like, to think it's almost a year, like that is. And I've been outside. I've said this 6 times, and by outside, mate, I don't mean like, I mean like outside full stop, including my back garden, like 6 times. I've just tried to get through this as same as everybody else, and just come out the other side, try to play by the rules, try to do what you're told, try to keep your family safe. I know a lot of people out there have the exact same feeling. I'm fortunate in that, you know, I haven't been a frontline worker or anything, obviously, so I'm fortunate in that regard that I haven't had to put myself at risk. But to those people, mate, that have had to, you know, be working in supermarkets or as nurses, doctors, postmen, whatever, like bravery is all I can say. They've all my respect, all my admiration, and those people that kept both of our countries ticking along during all this, mate, nothing but love to them.
No, you're totally right, mate. And I'll tell you what don't help is when you get, you know, you get your time up pictures from last year and everything like that.
Oh, stop.
Obviously, this time last year, Craig, I was still celebrating Tyson Fury winning his fight against Deontay Wilder in Las Vegas. Do you know what I mean? So I'm looking at it thinking, oh my God, is that really a year ago? Do you know what I mean? Please take me back then. Do you know what I mean? It's so depressing sometimes.
It is. Do you know what, though, Terry? We'll all come out of this the other side, hopefully a bit more empathetic towards people, a bit more understanding, and a bit more appreciative of the little things, because, you know, a lot of things, like you've got kids, just even seeing grandparents and stuff like that. And yeah I think, you know, we've heard about the generation before us that had World War II and the bombings and all this stuff. And you know, I'm not comparing what we're going through to that, but, you know, this has been something that I've never experienced, mate. I'm almost 40 and I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime before. So for our kids and young people out there to be going through it, some people haven't had to celebrate 18th birthdays or haven't been able to celebrate major milestones in their life. There's going to be some big release, I think, when this is all over. The pubs are going to be jammers, I'd say.
No, exactly, mate. Exactly. Well, hopefully we can get to that soon. Let's get on to the most important things, mate. And obviously, let's start with your team first. The reason for the title is, obviously, will Klopp or Arteta get the chop? Is that there are a few Liverpool fans now that have seen enough from Klopp, and they are willing to get rid of him and get a new manager in and have a new start at Liverpool. I mean, obviously, you know, I think that, how long was it, Craig, that Everton haven't won at your place for? Was it
21 years?
21 years. And obviously, you know, Everton, the Merseyside derby, they beat you 2-0. I mean, just give us your thoughts and feelings on that game, first of all, Craig. Do you think Klopp got the team line up right to start off with? Do you think his tactics was right? How did you think the game went? And your thoughts and feelings, obviously, after the game.
So, yep, starting 11 was the same 11 that took to the pitch against Leipzig in Europe during the week and put in a very good performance. Got us a 2-0 away win. So no problems with the starting 11. From minute one, though, I did have problems with the attitude. And I did have problems with the fact that they were, I think Gary Neville got it right, almost like zombies, just going through patterns of play out there on the pitch, whereas there was a bit more want about Everton, I thought. You know, it's a derby, so the first thing you want to see is commitment and effort. You know, no matter what, you'll forgive a lot if your players go out there and run themselves into the ground, which, to be fair, is something that we've seen from this Liverpool team for years. Week in, week out, commitment. This was the biggest kick in the nuts. Like, you know, Connor runs the channel with me, and I have another guy, Jack Gill. He's in his early 20s as well. They've never seen Everton beat Liverpool at Anfield in the league. Never in their entire life. So both of them, to a man, came to me afterwards and said, this hurts more than any other loss. Yeah, it was really tough, mate. I mean, tactics-wise, you'd say Carlo Ancelotti got his tactics right, got his players G'd up, and Everton fully deserve another win. I won't take anything away from them. Klopp out stuff, though, is absolute pants of the highest order. I don't know a Liverpool fan. I don't know one that would even be edging towards that. I'm baffled by the Klopp out stuff. And, you know, it's easy. I could easily sit here and just say it's not Liverpool fans, but I can't say for certain that there aren't some Liverpool fans that don't want them out. But what I will say is they have short memories if they do want him out, because we're not talking about a couple of years of failure here. We're talking about 1 year of dipped form for varying reasons: tiredness, injuries, COVID. A lot of other teams have had the same thing, but you've often seen these fourth year drop from teams. Pep had it. You've seen Barcelona sides have it. Arsenal over the years. It's very hard to maintain a level with the same group for more than 3 or 4 years. So I think what we need more than Klopp out, which I definitely don't agree with, is fresher legs and maybe, you know, just a bit of a mental break, which no club really had in between the seasons, and just get ready to go for next season with our full squad back. This season, we are in big trouble, though, mate. We're in big trouble this season.
Just quickly, Jake here obviously is a Liverpool fan. The reason there are a couple of others that I've seen and all, mate. He said Klopp should have gone after Southampton away. We're not won at home in 6 games and lost 4 in a row. How can anyone defend Klopp on that? I'm sorry, it's fake positivity.
Right, we've had 18 different centre-back pairings this season, Kerry. 18 different centre-back pairings. We've had the spine of our team out for a good while. Our captain now looks like he could be out for the rest of the season, if rumours are to be believed, and we're waiting on the results of a scan. We've had a small gap between seasons. Why does the manager get the blame on this? This is where I'm baffled by it. Like, you know, I do agree that there are, you know, there's something to the same words can only be heard so many times, the same motivational speeches, but that's why you need to freshen up players and bring in other players. People have said it happened in his time at Dortmund as well. Yeah, but it will happen everywhere in 3-4 year cycles. The great Sir Alex Ferguson sides, the great Arsene Wenger sides, the great Barcelona sides, Real Madrid sides, they all built a second team. We have not had a chance for Klopp to build his second team. So after what he delivered us after 30 years, after a Champions League, after our first ever Club World Cup, the players he's been able to attract, the nights he's given us at Anfield, no, I'm sorry. There's just no way the manager deserves to be sacked. There are forces at work that have gone against us with luck, and there is tiredness. I think he needs a chance to build a second team. I respect everybody else's opinion, but you know, having lived through Roy Hodgson, having lived through 30 years without a Premier League or a First Division title, you know, I'm not in that camp, and I don't know anybody of my mates or anybody in my social group that will be in that camp. But again, I respect everybody's opinions, but I would just say the manager isn't always to blame. Partially, yes. Can he change tactics? Yes. Could he try a different set of formations or something? Yes. And could we be playing, and should we be playing centre-back and centre-back? Yes. But it's not all down to the gaffer. There's shared responsibility here. We win together, we lose together. We try and solve these problems together. And we're not that club. We're not the club that just throws managers under a bus. That's never been Liverpool.
Listen, for me personally, Craig, I totally agree. I think what he's done, he took you up the other level as soon as he come in. He had to, obviously, you had to be patient and wait for it. It took a few years for him to get the right team, the right formation, the right tactics and everything, and it all come together, and it was fantastic. Winning the Champions League, unbelievable again, and then obviously winning your first league after 30 years, was it? 30 years?
Yeah, and let's not forget the man's mother died as well. Didn't get a chance to go over to the funeral. The way I put this is, Terry, to all these people saying Klopp should get sacked, answer me one question. Do you think there would be any shortage of top-tier clubs that wouldn't want Klopp if he left Liverpool or we sacked him? How long do you think before Real Madrid, Barcelona, anybody comes in with an offer?
Listen, I mean, as much as I like Arteta at Arsenal, I would definitely get rid of him to get Klopp in straight away, without a shadow of that. You know what I mean? Because of the pedigree that he has got. I mean, but my only reservations with that is for Arsenal is because you know our fans, they want it all instantly. So will they give Klopp time like they did at Liverpool 3-4 years to rebuild this team and push us forward? I don't think they will, to be honest. I don't think.
I think he'd win them over, mate. I think there's something about the man. I can't really explain it. He just takes you on the journey with him. Like don't get me wrong. That last comment you pulled up, I mean, he's not beyond criticism. Of course, I have my own thoughts on some of his substitutions and stuff like that, and I'll be very open and honest about them. But I mean, big picture, it's a blip. It's a blip, and you know, give him a chance to work through it. If we're still having this conversation 3 months into next season and we've gotten off to a terrible start, you know, then I still wouldn't say be right. You can understand the calls, but I think every manager deserves to build a second team, especially with the success he's delivered.
Yeah. No, look, I'm with you, Craig. To be honest, I think he deserves the right to get it right. Yes, you've had definitely the injury list this season for you has been unbelievable. My only reservations again with it is that I mean, a couple of weeks ago, it seemed like to me that Klopp in his interview was saying that he doesn't really have any what do you call it? Any saying who comes in and the buys. I mean, I don't know if that was a cheap shot at backroom staff there and the chairman and that. It just seemed like he was saying that, you know what I mean? What I would be saying is that we've just won the Champions League 2 years ago. We won the Premiership last year. I mean, surely we should have the money to go out and reinforce this team to make us even stronger, Craig.
I think every Liverpool fan would agree with the manager on that one, mate. I think we should have. We should have gone out there and we should have acted like the biggest club in England. We should have gone out there and not left Dejan Lovren go and not bringing a fourth centre-back. Would United have done that? Would Barca or Real Madrid have done that? Probably not. So, again, if anything, I think fans would agree with the manager on that. And he was right. I mean, let's look at it factually. We could have gone out and brought in replacements for or at least cover for Van Dijk and Gomez in January the 1st. But we didn't. Yeah. We let the whole of January go. Matip goes out for the rest of the season. And then on the last day of the window, we bring in 2 centre-backs. And at that point, the title literally fell apart in January. So, you know, the manager was right to throw his toys out of the pram a bit about that one. I would have. I think he was far more reserved than most of us would have been. I would have been calling people out left, right and centre, mate.
Yeah. No, listen, I totally agree again. I think... And this is what some of the calls are with Arsenal fans, which I don't understand, is that obviously they're saying we need to get back into the Champions League so we can get the money and we can spend again. But it's the whole situation and all, Craig. Obviously, like you said, we're in a pandemic. You know what I mean? There's a lot of clubs that obviously we didn't know if fans would be back next season because we weren't getting told anything. Let's be real. So I can understand a little bit of why the chairmans and the clubs and that were holding back and seeing what was going on. But on the other token, I agree with what you're saying and what Klopp said. You know, you wanted me to go out there and build a team and win trophies. I've done that. Now you've got to help me and back me so we can maintain that. And they definitely ain't done that this season.
He did it, Terry. And since we've won the Champions League, we're at least level on net spend, maybe plus 1 million. Like maybe we're in profit 1 million. That was before the Harvey Elliott tribunal fee that was agreed with Fulham. So, you know, he's done that with basically a zero net spend. He's delivered us what he's delivered us. And that's not just down to him. Obviously, that's down to the scouting team. It's down to the recruitment team. It's down to Edward. It's down to the owners as well. It's down to selling players at a certain time. And we've understood that's the way we've been working as a club. But we sell some players to buy some players. We try balance the books. But, you know, this is the time now where I think every Liverpool fan will say, and it's a big summer for me for the owners, that they need to really push on and they need to just show that they didn't want to just win these things once, that we want sustained success. And nobody's asking them to go out there and spend 500 million in a summer. But, you know, we should be able to spend 100 million on top of whatever we bring in sales, like COVID or not. We're a big club, signed a big kit manufacturer deal with Nike that have had record-breaking sales. We should be able to go out there and act like a big club, mate.
I totally agree with that, Craig. I totally agree. Moving forward, Craig, I mean, what do you think for the rest of the season for Liverpool? I mean, obviously, when is Van Dijk back? Is he back anytime soon?
I'm not expecting him to be back at all, him or Gomez. If they do come back, it's a bonus. But psychologically, I've always prepared myself for both them being out. Matip's out. So it's getting to the point where Fabinho's going to be back. So we're asking, do we play Ben Davies and Ozil back, the two new boys at centre-back? Do we slot Fabinho back in there? It looks like we originally thought Henderson was an abductor injury that might be 4 or 5 games, but there's a few rumours going around. And again, I've got to say they are rumours that it could be worse than we feared, and we mightn't see Hendo again for the season. So we got to find a stable back four and keep them for the rest of the season because, as I said, 18 centre-back pairings is ridiculous. So if it's Davies and Kabak, if it's Fabinho and Kabak, whoever the manager decides, stick with them, get some stability across that back five, try and get them to know each other, and then try and get back on the front foot moving forward and give the guys Salah, Firmino, Mane. They need to rediscover. Obviously, look, Salah's top scorer in the league, but the rest of the boys need to start chipping in as well. And we need to be a bit more incisive going forward because these patterns of play are just too obvious at times. That we don't have Van Dijk or Hendo now to play those long diagonal balls. We need to find another way to hurt teams. And I'm very worried, mate. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm extremely worried about missing out on the Champions League next season because it is a very, very real possibility.
No, exactly. And where do you think Liverpool will finish at the moment this season then?
I think it's 50-50. We can nick fourth, and I mean nick it like very closely. But realistically, if we don't get fourth, I'd rather finish 7th or 8th, mate, because I don't want Europa League football. The only benefit to playing in that competition that I can see, you can talk about the route into the Champions League the following year, but I would say concentrating on the Premier League is an easier route to get back into the Champions League the following year. The only benefit I've ever seen in the Europa League for clubs, whether it be United or Arsenal or Chelsea or whoever it was you get the blood some youngsters through and give them some competition experience. But I hate this Thursday, Sunday stuff, mate. I really do. It's not so bad now when you're able to see every game on television, but when a lot of the games, when you're on the Sundays, they weren't on TV before if you had Europa League football. So I'd rather we missed out on the Europa League altogether, if I'm being really honest with you. Champions League or no European football would be better for me. And I don't mean that because I'm sitting here kind of just turning my nose up at it. I just think it would derail the season even more the following season. I think we'd have a better shout at trying to focus to get back into Champions League if we didn't have any distraction.
Yeah, no, exactly. I totally agree with what you said there and all, mate. It's been an hard season for you, isn't it, really? Let's be honest. I mean, unfortunately, winning the league and that, and then seeing a lot of injuries. It can't be easy, mate. It can't be easy, not getting the players. Because I think for me personally, that's what I said at the beginning of the season, Craig, and why I picked Man City to win the league this year over yous is because you didn't go out and just even get that one marquee player just to freshen up the team, just to push players for competition, if you know what I mean. I know you brought Jota in and he done well, but how long's he out for, Craig?
He's back training now. So he'll be back in. Look, he won't make the weekend's game against Sheffield United, but he will be available for the Chelsea game the following week, which is a huge game. I mean, that's almost a make or break game. Well, not make. It's the still have a chance or break game is what I'm looking at it as. And we did bring in Thiago as well. Don't forget in the summer, who people have been critical of, maybe rightly or wrongly. It's hard to make a decision on that, but he hasn't played with the midfield he's been brought in to play with either. And look, I'm sitting here sound like I'm making excuses, mate. We deserve to be where we are. The league table doesn't lie. We've no moral right to be anywhere, mate. We've got to earn it. And these players know that they haven't lived up to it. Even the ones that have been out there should be good enough with the squad we have to get into that top four. And there's just been performances that quite simply has not been good enough. The manager deserves criticism for that. The players deserve criticism for that. The owners deserve criticism for that. So, I'm not a blind fan who's just going to, blow smoke up the club's arse, because I've been critical a lot of times about a lot of things, particularly substitutions from the manager, and like why Curtis Jones was taken off against Everton. I'll never understand. How Divock Origi's still stealing and living at the club. I'll never understand. There's just certain things, mate, that I don't agree with, but I try to not be very reactionary in the moment during watch-alongs, yes, of course, but in the big picture, I try to take a step back and just think bigger picture, I think long-term, and think where we're going if we're heading in the right direction. And year on year, up until this year, we've had progression, we've had great nights, we've had great performances. We couldn't have asked any more from our players, and I think, I'm not saying they deserve a breather, but I think everyone deserves a blip of a season if we can scrape fourth. If we don't scrape fourth, the whole summer transfer window is going to look an awful lot different.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, mate. What's your thoughts on Everton? How they've done Carlos there? I mean, what's your feelings on them, mate?
I mean, Carlo Ancelotti is a world-class manager. He's one of the very few out there that's won the Champions League, both as a player and a manager. I have nothing but respect for the fella, and how could you not? He is a proper footballing man. And the job that he's done at Everton has been very good. Is the players he's brought in have been good. He's improved the players that are around him, which is something is the sign to me of somebody who is a top-level manager, that they improve the players that are already there as well. And as I keep it, the league table doesn't lie, mate. They deserve that win at Anfield, as much as it hurts me to say it. And I won't look for excuses about it. They've waited long enough, 21 years, to get a win at our gaff in the league. So, it's their moment. I don't want to undermine it or belittle it. I like to think I'm a gracious fella. I'm a sporting fella. And it was their day. And Ancelotti's done a good job. I obviously still hope they get nowhere near the top four. But, I'd be a fool to sit here and say he's not a good manager and he hasn't done a good job.
Question here for you. Craig, sorry, Tubes MD. He says, question for Craig. Did the two games against Everton FC did you bad this season, especially the first game?
We were robbed in the first game. Let's be honest about that. Like, even Everton fans, I think a lot of them will tell you that was a 50-50 call for that offside right at the end of the game. Second game we were outplayed. Everton deserved 100%. You know, I don't think the first one was as bad. The second one was unforgivable. Is the only word I could use, mate. I mean, you put on any club shirt, and players or fans will forgive a lot if you give 100%. You know, if you work your ass off and run yourself into the ground, we'll forgive a lot. But we didn't see that. We didn't see that against Everton, whereas we did for the Blues that day, and they earned their win. I mean, yeah, it hurts, but you know, they've had it for 21 years, as I've said, so it's their moment, and I don't want to undermine that.
Yeah. Eric is saying, big up, lads. Thank you very much for your super chat, mate. Appreciate that. Let's move on then, Craig. Arsenal lost 1-0 to City the weekend. What was your thoughts on the game and Arsenal in general at the moment, mate?
Yeah, City are just a machine at the minute, aren't they, mate? They're just able to do what champions do, which is, you know, see out 1-0 wins. I mean, it wasn't a shock result, let's be honest about it. I think City were favourites going into the game. It's not really for me to say about Arsenal's season, because I'll be honest, I haven't paid as much attention to it as you would have, of course, you being an Arsenal fan. But put it this way, mate, if you had been beaten 3 or 4, I think it might have taken a bit more of a dent in the players' confidence. But, you know, 1-0, an early goal, and often we see in games that an early goal is in, you expect the floodgates to open. But, you know, a lot of the time, that one goal at the start sees games out, and that's 18 in a row now for Manchester City. And they're on the march, aren't they, to the title, let's be honest about it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, look, I think City this season at the moment, I think that's 18 games on a trot without a loss. I think they've only drawn 1 in that, and that was West Brom. I think 17 other games there, they've won it. You know, before that game, they beat Hughes, they beat Everton, they beat Tottenham, they beat Man United, they beat Chelsea. It ain't as if, you know what I mean, they're just beating the lower league teams, and then we went out and, you know what I mean, we lost 1-0. Look, I know what a lot of Arsenal fans are going to say, and I totally agree. We did not turn up. We didn't give them a game. But even if we did, I still think we would have lost, Craig, to be honest. I just think that Man City at the moment are in such phenomenal form that it didn't matter. If you understand what I'm trying to say as a whole, Craig.
I'm just wondering with team selections and stuff. I'd seen an article somewhere about this. Is Arteta looking at? Is he looking at the Europa League? Do you think is that where his eggs are at this moment in time? Is he trying to find that route into the Champions League for Arsenal?
Well, the thing is, which I don't understand, Craig, and like you're saying about the team lineup, is really apart from 2 players, that's the team I would have picked. I would have had Partey if he was not injured and he was available, and then obviously took Elneny out. And then obviously for me personally, I'm not really a big Bellerin fan, so I would have played Cedric there. But apart from that, the team lineup I thought was fine. Everyone else thought was fine. This is what I don't understand. And you know, I don't think anyone was moaning about Holding being in there at the beginning, or Mari or Xhaka and aubameyang up front where he scored a hat trick the other day. No one was really complaining about them before the game. But because obviously after 2.5 minutes, yes, Sterling got free, lack of concentration. Holding should have done much better, same as Bellerin, but it happens. I mean, you know, you look with Alisson, what's happened over the last few weeks, you know, being in goal. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. But sometimes it just happens, these things.
I think, I don't mean to be rude here, but I think Arsenal fans as well need to be realistic about the squad that you guys have compared to the squads around them. I mean, there's only so much stuff a manager can do, and it's not my place to say if Arteta is or isn't the man for Arsenal, but I've said this for a long time. I think no matter who comes through those doors to manage Arsenal, your board needs to get their finger out and needs to really start. And I spoke about our owners acting like a big club, mate, earlier on. And I think Arsenal need to start doing the same, because the days of using the Emirates, paying off that as an excuse, should be over at this point. I think you need to go out there. And it's tough because you need to take a few risks when you're in the position of not being in Champions League for a few seasons. You need to maybe hope you uncover that gem that you get for cheap and turns out to be world class. You can't, if you do go out there and get proven talent. You're paying more because you're not in the Champions League. You're paying more wages to them because you're not in the Champions League. And you have to look to attract them another way. So then you're worried, am I bringing in the right players, the right mentality, or am I bringing in mercenaries who just want the payday? So it's a very difficult tightrope to walk. And I think I think the board needs to really shape up here and look past the next one manager or two managers. You need a director of football in there who's going to be in charge of recruitment, who's going to look after Arsenal's long-term interests. And, you know, you've got some very good young footballers. I mean, I would bite your arm off for Saka. I'd take him at Liverpool, no problem.
Yep. No, listen, I totally agree. And what you said earlier on, I think, you know, fans have got to be patient because I totally agree with you. I've been saying it for ages, Craig, that our squad is not as great as what people think. And then all I get back is, but we're Arsenal. We're Arsenal. Look at the name. We're Arsenal Football Club. We should be in the top four. Well, why should we be in the top four? We've been going backwards for 16 years. Absolutely backwards. I don't understand why some Arsenal fans can't see that. We've been going backwards as a squad and a team for 16 years. We haven't been competing for the Premiership, apart from once when Leicester won it, when we should have won it that season. We haven't been competing in the league or the Champions League for that matter.
What I would say was, though, mate, you've done good business in January with regards to getting rid of players. I think that was a good step forward. A lot of players out the door that were, you know, stealing a living or just didn't belong there. So I think that's step one. You get the wages off the books, you move people out, free up those spaces as well, free up the homegrown spaces, the international spaces, and then you start building from there. So it's not something you can do in a transfer window or two. It needs to be done over 3-4 years.
But all I get back, Craig, is Chelsea does it. Chelsea, look at Chelsea and Man City, they do it.
They've got one owner who just, you know, that's been his MO since he's come in the door. He often at times will go through periods where he throws a whole load of money behind. Like, look at Chelsea. Chelsea are owed Roman Abramovich is owed 1.13 billion or something like that from Chelsea. Now, he could call in that debt tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? Like, that therein lies the difference. And what he does has worked for Chelsea. They've been successful. They get managers in 2-3 year cycles, but every club has their own identity. And, you know, I wouldn't want Liverpool to be run the way Chelsea is. But, you know, you may have some Liverpool fans who do, and that's fine. But with Arsenal, you know, do you want, if you do what Abramovich does, you get 2-3 year cycles there, then, yeah, maybe you get Champions League football. But, you know, Chelsea haven't always had Champions League football either. They've played in the Europa League as well. So there's no foolproof system, but give me long-term sustainable success. Exactly. Over this for me, and it just takes patience and time. But to be fair to those Arsenal fans who are moaning, I can understand why they've moaned as well, because they've seen a lot of dross, they've seen a lot of mismanagement of players and managers. And again, I go back to the board, mate. I mean, the board really need to take ownership of this situation. Yeah,
no, exactly that. Randy, I just want to pick up your point. He said Terry will back Arteta to the death. No point trying to change his perception. No, Randy, what it is as I wanted Arteta in, and I said it would take time. What would it, for me, Craig, I've said it from the start, and I will maintain that. And that is, I wanted him to come in. I wanted him to get rid of all these players that are there, the clique, the culture that's been there for 16 years. I wanted him to absolutely restart, hit the reset button. Because I was fed up with it all. I didn't want Mourinho to come in and then maybe just win one trophy like we're saying that Chelsea does and then fuck it all up like he's doing at Tottenham already. I didn't want that because I knew that was going to happen. Everyone else knew it could happen. But some of the Arsenal fans wanted him to come in still because apparently, you know, he is a great manager and he has won things. But he hasn't done anything for Tottenham at the moment. If anything, he's taken them backwards.
If he came in the door at Arsenal, do you think he's going to get the support that he needs to go and win? Just I keep coming back to this. I don't think it matters who is managing Arsenal at this moment in time until Stan Kroenke and your board get their finger out and come up with a plan for the next 10 years, a realistic plan that will see season-on-season growth. And whether that's backing the youngsters, bringing through the best talent in Europe, fair enough, go with that. I think Arteta definitely deserves time. I mean, regardless of what happens, how long is he in the job now?
Just over a season. Well, just over a season and a half, I think it is.
Right. So to me, he's halfway through a cycle. So I would give him the 3 years. I would, you know, want the board to back him because, you know, he's a football man. I'm not saying he's the greatest manager in God's green earth, but he worked under one of them. He worked under Mr. Guardiola, would have learned a lot. He seems to be a fairly strong-willed person, Arteta. He definitely seems to be his own man from what I can see from the outside. Yep. But, you know, I have to say, I like the fact that he doesn't take bullshit. He doesn't put up with people who aren't pulling their weight. And I like that side of him. Now, I don't know if he's tactically astute or not. I haven't watched enough of Arsenal to know, but I do know that he wants people doing the right things. He wants people with the right attitude, and he's not afraid to make a call. That much I'll say about Arteta.
No, you're exactly right, mate. And that's what I mean. Look, it takes time to get rid of these things. You know what I mean? It can't just happen overnight. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's happened. I did not think we would get rid of Ozil and most of these players in the January transfer window. That's why I kept saying, wait until the summer when all these players goes, and then he can rebuild his team with the players that he wants and then play the way he wants to play. That has come 6 months earlier for me because obviously he's got rid of these players. And now come the summer, Craig, we haven't got to worry about getting all these players. We've still got a few more players to get off the book, don't get me wrong. But the chunk of them players, the culture at our club, them players were, you know what I mean, coming out and going behind Arteta's back and whatever. And he's got rid of them now. He's got rid of most of them players. So surely come the summer, Arsenal fans must see that we've got rid of 7 players. We only got 2 players in on loan. So we've got to replace them to big up our squad again.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're certainly not to finish the article. I mean, you look through the Arsenal side, but there are promising signs. As I said, Saka's there. You've got some other good young players in Smith Rowe as well coming through. And look, you need to get rid of Lacazette. Let's be honest. He doesn't seem to be somebody that the manager seems to have made his mind up there. I think if I'm spitballing here, but if you can get rid of some of the older players at the club, I mean, Aubameyang's a goal scorer machine. You need to keep him confident. You need to keep him happy. By the way, you know what Claude wishes he looked like this. Come on, let's be honest about it, mate. I've seen the cheeky little comment. But I think, again, it's a process. It's a process. I mean, Klopp inherited a very iffy Liverpool squad. And, you know, it took some good recruitment, we sold Felipe Coutinho for 140-something million quid to Barcelona, which I was absolutely fuming about at the time. But now when I look back at it, we got Alisson and we got Virgil van Dijk out of it. And that was the spine that we needed to strengthen the team. So, you know, you can look to the Arsenal team and there are positives and there are negatives. Tierney hasn't really had a real first season that you would have hoped for with regards to injuries and stuff like that. He's still a quality left back, no doubt about that whatsoever. And yeah, look, mate, I just think it's not for me to tell Arsenal fans to be patient because, you know, you've been patient for a long time, but each manager is almost like hitting the reset button with the patience. You need to give that manager a certain amount of time, I think, before he's judged.
No, you're exactly right. And what you said there, we have got some young talent there. You know, Leno has had a great season, I think. All right, he's made one mistake with that handball outside the box, you know, not concentrating and doing whatever he's done. But he's been fantastic. He's been brilliant this season, I think, you know, for Arsenal. You got Tierney, like you said, we've got Gabriel, who we bought, who's been out injured. We've got Partey. We've got Smith Rowe, like you said, Saka, Martinelli. I don't think we've had 3 games this season where they've all played together because of either one's injured or we've got other injuries. I'm not making it as an excuse, Craig. I'm just saying that's the fact. It's fact.
And that's Nketiah as well on top of that as well.
Yep. Well, a lot of people would argue with that with you, Craig, because most Arsenal fans, I think, are impatient with him too and just don't want to give him a chance now. And it's all about Bellerin, our other youngster, who hasn't even had a game yet, who does look fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He looks absolutely brilliant. But he hasn't signed a contract. His contract's up in 5 months' time. And most people would rather put him on the field rather than anyone else.
Again, not really for me to say, but, you know, that could be the identity. If Arteta starts to look to those young players, I'm sure that there were some players that have proven themselves in the Europa League this season for you guys as well. I mean, Saka's banging in goals. I mean, he looks up. I'll never forget the word "signed the thing" because I was secretly hoping we could talk him away. But look, it's understandable why Arsenal fans are frustrated, mate. I mean, you've gone from every season Champions League football, winning trophies, Premier Leagues, FA Cups, whatever, to having the likes of Henry, Bergkamp, Pires, you know, so many amazing players there to Granit Xhaka.
Exactly. You just summed it up in one word. One word, Granit Xhaka. And yes, he is still playing him, but at the moment with Partey, he's a better player than what he has been. Do you know what I mean? He's a better player than what he has been, Xhaka. And that was what my thoughts were when I was on Man City TV the other day. Claude's here. How you doing, Claude? Hold up a minute, mate.
Guys, Craig's looking well, isn't he?
You look like twins now, right? Yeah, I said on Man City the other day, if Partey didn't play for some reason, not some reason, if Partey didn't play on Sunday, we wouldn't play our normal game. I think Partey gives us a completely different outlook when he plays for us.
He's a good player. I don't deny that. Good piece of business.
My aunt had this, my uncle had this, whatever. Hello, good evening, good afternoon, Craig. How are you, mate?
Great to see you. Doing a little bit better, buddy. You're looking a lot more healthy, and I hope you're keeping well.
I see Terry still moaning and groaning again. Oh, dear.
I'm not moaning. Have you come out mourning yet?
Hey?
You come out mourning yet?
I'm not mourning nothing, mate. And
you've been mourning.
I keep hearing these excuses. I had to come on here for a few minutes because but I'm just trying to say I could hear all these excuses coming out from you, Terry. It was incredible. I mean, if anyone's got a good excuse this year, it's Liverpool, because they've had so many players out. Despite, as Craig was saying earlier, the spine of the team completely taken out.
Yeah,
and even players that were coming in were taken out as well. You've got Jordan Henderson, who was up for me their player of the season last year, now injured, and of course he's been out of position for the long periods this season as well, taken out of his favourite position, weakens the midfield, and people expect what people expect. I think it's a miracle. I think they've done really well to be where they are. To be honest with you,
I'm not. Like I said, but like Craig said earlier on, I don't know if you heard Claude, but you're saying not making excuses because obviously they won the Champions League 2 years ago. They won the Premiership last year, so they should have had the money to go out and back Klopp and get some more players in.
Yeah, I understand that, but then again, no one could see all these injuries happening in one season. You couldn't see that happening. And
no, I agree with that.
Maybe the board didn't see that happening, and when it's too late. And by the way, January is not a very easy time to buy anyone. Anyway, the prices for once the prices go up, as you know, and so it's very difficult to buy players. I mean, I can't, Arsenal is a different scenario. I mean, look at West Ham with the squad that they've got, and I'll repeat again, the squad where they got, yeah. The manager took on over at the same time as Arteta. Look where they are.
Yeah,
11 points.
It's funny. This is what I don't understand, and I was meant to say you the weekend, Claude. Is that when I bring up Mourinho and I bring up about Carlos?
Never mind about Mourinho. Forget Mourinho.
Exactly. Never mind about them. Don't worry about West Ham.
Let me tell you something. Tottenham is a completely different situation.
But
Tottenham has got a problem. Player power.
What I'm saying. You're saying don't worry about Tottenham. And
that showed on the weekend when he said that they're players, and which is quite.
But you can't have it both ways.
Let me finish. When Mourinho said that suggested that players are not playing to what he wants them to play, and they're lazy and they don't want to do it. Right? Mourinho is all about work rate. Everything is work, more and more work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those players don't listen. It happened in every club he goes to. When Mourinho goes, but at least he brings success. I think there's a big problem with players at Tottenham. Massive problem with players that don't want to. They don't want to do what he said. With us,
30 million on his own players.
Different situation. And by the way, Terry, even though they're a disaster and everyone wants him out, everything and it's what they're talking about. Was it the guy from? Are they talking about the guy from Leipzig? Is it?
But it's paper talk again. Claude.
Never mind debatable. That's what the talk is anyway.
Yeah, they're talking about Julian Nagelsmann coming in
There's
to
even
replace Mourinho.
he could be sacked in the next 48 hours, right? But that there's a completely different situation to Arsenal, my friend. Completely different.
No, but
even though they're going through all that crap, they are still in front of us. And with a game in hand as well. Let me put it this way. 2 points.
All I'm saying is
a game in hand. Listen, what I'm trying to say is 11th is not good enough for a club of Arsenal. Sorry.
Listen.
Could be 11th tonight if Leeds win. Sorry, go on.
Just quickly, right? What I'm saying to you is that when I make comparisons with Mourinho and Ancelotti, you say you're not bothered about them, and then you bring up West Ham, right? So if you're not bothered about Everton and Tottenham, why are you making a comparison with West Ham? What you're saying to me is that I care about Arsenal, and then you bring up West Ham, right? So why can't I make a comparison? But it's okay.
The reason I bring West Ham into it, right? I keep hearing that this is I keep hearing this word process, and by the way, that word process was brought out by Gazidis in 2006 when he said that we want to be we moved to the Emirates to be with Bayern Munich. It's now 14. So if that's 15 years on, and you want me to trust another process, do you? Yeah. When I can see players with a weaker squad than what we have inside the same. I mean, he joined at the same time as Arteta. 11 points clear. So why isn't this manager under any criticism? Why is he getting a free ride? I mean, Emery was getting slaughtered and he never was in this position. Never in this position. And he got slaughtered. So why is this guy getting a free ride? You tell me.
Who's saying he's getting a free ride? Who's saying he's getting a free? You're saying he's getting a
free ride. You're saying trust the process.
You're saying he's getting a free ride. You're saying he's getting a free. No one else is saying he's getting a free ride. When you look at it, all you see is Arteta out fans of Arsenal. They bring all this rubbish up. They bring all this. He's getting a free ride and all this rubbish. I don't say anything like that. What I say is, because I can see what he's doing.
This is where we fall as well. I mean, I saw a Liverpool fan earlier calling for Klopp to be sacked. Or was it Jake? Was it Jake?
Yeah, Jake. He's been doing that for the last few weeks, to be fair.
No, he's calling for them to be sacked. But that's what, and I think that is very harsh, because I think what he's done this season to be in that position, I think he's done really well, right? People don't. I mean, but that's their stand. That's the standard that they set. We, in the other hand, said it's okay to be 11th and in 11th place, and don't worry, it's all part of the process. But that's what I'm saying. Hold up. I think the mentality goes from top to bottom, and it's the fan bases. The fan base is just as much
again.
Because our expectations
11th or 10th. Who keeps saying that? What Arsenal fan have you heard says I'm happy being?
All I can see, I hear we're making progress. How are we making progress when we're sitting 11th in the league? Tell me.
Well,
tell me how we're making progress. Because I can't see it. Where are we making progress?
Like I said to you before.
Anyway, I'm leaving. I don't want to get here because Craig Craig is in the show as well. So sorry, Craig.
Sorry, Craig, mate. Sorry.
It's fine, man.
I'm being rude here, Craig. Sorry, mate. Because I'm not.
Listen, let's leave that aside for a minute. I mean, obviously, there's things happening at Arsenal and the fan base, things like that. I mean, let's have a look at the Tottenham and bring that up like we just said. What do you think of Tottenham at the moment, Craig? And obviously losing to West Ham and Mourinho at the moment.
I don't know why they brought Mourinho in. I said that at the start. Like, yes, he wins trophies. The man's had a fantastic career, and he may win them a trophy, but he wasn't the man for the job. Not for that club for me. You know, he's a checkbook manager, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I've always said this. There are checkbook managers out there, and the world needs them. The world needs managers that will go out there and manage the big players and spend the big money. The Guardiolas of this world, they're needed. So I've no issue with that. But it seemed a strange fit for me, him and Daniel Levy. It just seemed like a headache waiting to happen. And he got off to a decent start. He's a good squad. I think Højbjerg was a great piece of business when he brought him in for Spurs. And look, I just think I just think there's too much hype around Mourinho. I'll be honest with you. I admire the man. I'd love to see him just go back into punditry. I think he's a great pundit. Some of the stuff I've seen him talking about, he seems a lot more chilled. He goes into a club happy, and within 6 months, he's looking like someone's pissed on his cornflakes time and time again.
Sorry, Craig. Do you know what it is with Mourinho? I think it's the way the players are now reacting rather than. I think the players now. How can I say it? They're more interested in sponsorship deals than what they're doing on the pitch, to be honest with you.
If you look, I watched a great documentary on him the other night that looked at his Porto team right through, and he wanted people that would die for the shirt. He went to Porto and he brought second division players up, unheard of players, because he wanted the identity of the club back. He's very good at understanding what a club and the people and the culture of a club is, and trying to inject that philosophy, maybe not in his playing style, but in this type of player that he brings in that, will fight for the shirt. He wants winners. He wants people that are mentally strong. And I think Claude has a point. In the modern day, that's becoming a bit less and less. There's a lot of money involved in the game, a lot of heads being turned, you're not even allowed to fucking shout at a player anymore. In the olden days, you see cups being smashed in change rooms. These days, you shout at a player and an agent will be on the phone to you an hour later looking for a transfer request.
Yeah, and it's not good. I mean, I just, that's what I think is the problem. Where's Mourinho? Because look at his record; it's second to none, isn't it? Whether you like it or not, it's second to none, isn't it? Really, only Ferguson and you could even say quite. Actually, he's got a better. I think he's actually got a better record than Guardiola, hasn't he? Really, would you say?
He won the Champions League at Porto. He won the Champions League at Inter Milan. I don't think he won it with Chelsea. Was he sacked before he won it with Chelsea?
He didn't win Matteo or something? But he's won titles in all these different countries as well, hasn't he?
He's won in Spain. He won the League Cup, or he won the Cup in Spain. He's had a great career.
That's an achievement in itself, what he's done with that.
That's an achievement in itself as a manager, Claude. You're right. But as a Tottenham fan, it does not make a difference what he's won beforehand, does it?
And I mean, I don't know whether he could have had an impact at Arsenal. He could have had a bit even better. But what's happened at Spurs, it could have been different at Arsenal, because at Arsenal there are a lot of young players that might be willing to work for that manager. But here, I mean, at Spurs, he's got a lot of players that are not willing to work. Look, players like Dele Alli and players like that, they're just not willing to work their arse off for it. But I think he might. I don't know. I think he might have done a better job at Arsenal if he come to Arsenal. But that's my opinion. I don't. But having said all that, he's still doing better than Arteta this season. He's reached the final. He's reached one final. He's ahead of him in the league. He completely when we played them at Tottenham Stadium this year, he completely done him tactically in that game as well. So I don't know. It's all a matter of opinion. I'm afraid it's all a matter of opinion. I was going to ask you, Craig. I was going to ask Craig something there. Do you think Liverpool will get top four, mate? Though.
Genuinely think it's 50-50. The Chelsea game could have a big say on it. I mean, mate, I'm not confident. Put it that way. You'd say, okay, we need to put a run of maybe 8 or 9 wins together, but we haven't been able to do that so far. So I'm very worried about it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not confident as I sit here. It is possible, but 50-50, Claude, is the honest answer, mate. I'm not confident. And I don't want to be looking at the Champions League as a route back into it, because, let's be honest, with our form as well, will we win the Champions League if we play like we have been? Looks like Hendo could be out for a while now. I'm very, very worried.
Yeah, so it is at Anfield, the second leg, isn't it? The Champions League. It is at Anfield.
I'm confident enough we'll get past Leipzig with the two,
clean
sheet away.
I'm not sure with all these neutral grounds. You played in Germany, didn't you, in the first leg?
No, we played in Hungary. We were supposed to play in Leipzig, but the German government, their COVID restrictions or their quarantine rules, so we played it in Budapest. That was their home leg. Now the second leg's at Anfield on March 10th.
If they play one in one neutral ground, shouldn't it be a neutral ground for the second leg as well? I don't understand this, because
I don't understand any of this season, Claude. To be honest with you, where European games are being played.
to be fair, Leipzig have had a bit of a disadvantage there, then, haven't they? Because if they have to play at Anfield,
absolutely, I agree. I don't disagree with
you
you at all.
Was United's game in Spain? Was that in Spain?
I was in Turin. They played Sociedad in Juventus Stadium.
Yeah. Oh, he's frozen for a second. He's frozen. Just quickly, Craig, because I know we're getting on for the hour, mate. What's your thoughts on West Ham and David Moyes? I mean, he's done absolutely brilliant this season. I've got to hold my hands up. I said that they would be looking at relegation this season, especially with all the shenanigans that was happening at the beginning of the season, with Mark Noble, their captain, coming out on Twitter and going against his club and saying that, you know what I mean, the player they sold, he didn't agree with it, and Jack Wilshere was coming out at the time when he was there. It just looked like all upheaval, and I mean, he's turned it around. And are you worried about West Ham and David Moyes getting above you, mate?
Look, I can't say anything other than good job to David Moyes and West Ham for where they are. You get to where you are in the league on merit, but am I worried about them being there at the end of the season? Honestly, no. I think it's going to be between Liverpool, Everton and Chelsea for that fourth spot. But that being said, if West Ham can keep taking along as they are, then they'll earn the spot. I mean, you're right. I would never in a million years have thought that they'd be anywhere near European place this season, and they deserve every credit. Moyes deserves credit for getting the players to where they are. It's just a matter of if they can keep it up now.
No, you're exactly right, and good luck to him. I mean, I like seeing clubs like. I mean, I've got a little bit of affiliation to them. I mean, half of my family are West Ham, the missus West Ham, and her family are West Ham. So, I've got a lot of time. All my mates used to be West Ham. I used to be the only Arsenal one in all my mates and that. So it was, I like West Ham. So look, good. I hope it continues for them. Do I see them, being there for the long-term future? Unfortunately, I don't. I mean, I just think it's a case of like Sheffield United or Wolves last season and that. I think it's just a one-off season. Good luck to them. But, hopefully they can still maintain it, Craig.
Yeah, look, as I said, they've done very, very well with... they've made some very good... Souček's been a great piece of business to come in for them this season. Jared Bowen looks very good for them as well. Mikel Antonio is just... He's just a fighter, and I love seeing that in a footballer. Somebody who just works for every single ball, runs. And yet they're there on merit. The league table doesn't lie. You are where you are because you deserve to be there.
No, exactly that. And hopefully we'll see where that happens.
I think Leicester could drop out of that top four. The injuries that they're picking up at the moment, they could drop out. You say
they've quite a big buffer though, points wise. I think is it 6 points on or 8 points on us in fifth. Oh no, we're not even in fifth now. I think there's 7 or 8 points buffer they have.
Didn't they have a collapse last year because of all the players that they had injuries and
9 points?
They haven't got a massive squad, have they? Didn't they have a few injuries last year? And then they just come. They were all. Weren't they second at one point? And I didn't get in the top four.
I think it was the COVID break that screwed them. That 3-month break, the momentum was lost. Themselves and Sheffield United just fell away after that. Between injuries, I think they probably learned from that, to be honest with you. And again, their recruitment has been very good, and the players who they've brought in, and they've got a good, young, hungry squad. And I do rate Rodgers as a manager. I've said this before. I just think the job at Liverpool came too early for him.
I didn't catch your top. Who you thought would the battle for fourth would be with then? You don't think you'll be fighting with West Ham? You think you'll be...
I think Liverpool, Everton, Chelsea are probably the most realistic ones. But if West Ham can keep it up, as I said to Terry, they're there on merit. The league table doesn't lie. But I'd be surprised if they can keep this good form going. But then again, I'm surprised they beat Spurs.
I'm forgetting Man United are there as well, aren't they? So it's Man United at the moment. It's Man United, Man City, and Leicester in a real good position, aren't they? So that fourth. I
can probably hear Villa fans screaming at us as well, saying they've got games in hand. Don't forget about them.
Games in hand. I don't know. I don't think that. Yeah, that's tight.
The interesting point is over the next 5 and 6 weeks is that the whole lot of us, I think, in the down to 12th, are all playing each other.
That's what I was saying to you. Like this Chelsea game for us coming up after Sheffield United is massive.
Why is this happening here?
Yeah, no, that's all coming together. Like we're all playing together. I mean, we've got some big games coming up, and you know, it ain't even the teams down in 12th where Leeds are. To be honest, you know, you could go right down Leeds Palace. I mean, if some of them results, 2 or 3 results go the wrong way, and then someone was, you know, can get 3 wins on a trot on a bounce, that takes them right up there, Craig.
Absolutely. It's yeah, any consistency this season, if you can put together a win of 4 or 5 runs, a run of 4 or 5 wins in a row, you're going to be up there, aren't you?
No, exactly, mate. Exactly that. So it's going to be interesting. Where we can only see what happens. What's your predictions quickly for your game coming up against Leipzig?
I don't really care as long as we get through. Let's say a 2-2 draw, because I think they're going to come and just run forward. And let's go with a 2-2 draw and we'll get through 4-2. I don't really mind as long as we get into the last 8 what happens. I'm more worried about the league games coming up against Sheffield United and Chelsea, to be honest with you.
No, I understand what you mean, mate. And just quickly, I just want to run through the weekend with you and see what you think. But just before that, what do you think of Arsenal's chances in Thursday night?
They should be. I think they should dispatch Benfica, to be honest with you, mate. I think you're a better side than Benfica. So I expect Arsenal to go through that game.
All right, let's just quickly run through it, Craig, before I let you go, mate. Obviously, this Saturday, what another great weekend of football. Starting off Saturday, Man City, West Ham.
City win. It's got to be, man. Surely, like they're a machine at the minute, and you know, and that's not to be rude towards West Ham, but you know, as you said, 18 without a loss. You know, I think they'll just keep grinding it out.
I agree with you. The best game of the weekend at 3:00, West Brom versus Brighton.
I could see Brighton beating them. I saw 2-0 to Brighton. I think they were absolutely robbed against Palace. I don't know how Palace came out of that with the points. I mean, you know, you're taking a piss from Ben Heke scoring worldies. Like it's, I'd say Brighton to win that one.
Just quickly, Claude, we're just quickly going through the weekend results. What's your predictions for Man City, West Ham? Who's going to win? I think he's frozen again. All right, we'll carry on. Leeds Villa, Craig.
Oh, that's a tasty one, isn't it? Like a 1-1 in that, I think maybe a draw, but you can understand it going either way as well. But Leeds usually have a concede and score, so we'll go with a 1-1 draw.
Okay. Newcastle Wolves to finish Saturday off.
Wolves 2-1. I think, you know, Newcastle showed fight against United at the start, but heads dropped a little bit as the game went on. Legs got tired. A lot of good young players there in that Wolves team. So I think they'll have the legs on Newcastle.
Okay. Palace versus Fulham. First game on, well, one of the first games on Sunday.
It's a difficult one to call that because, you know, Fulham have been improving under Scott Parker. I just don't think that they have the killer instinct up front. So it's a tough one because Palace have been up and down. Let's say sneaky 1-0 win for Palace.
Okay. Leicester Arsenal.
Belter of a game, that, mate. I've got to say, belter of a game. I think they'll beat you. I've got to be honest. I think they'll beat you. I think I've seen a different side to Leicester when we played them, a patient side that, you know, they went 1-0 down, they didn't panic. I think they'll beat you 3-1.
Okay. Spurs Burnley.
God, I can only feel sympathy for the people that have to sit through that game first and foremost. I think Mourinho knows he's up against it. I think Spurs will get over the line, maybe 2-0.
2-0. Okay. Massive one, obviously. Chelsea, Man United.
2-2. 2-2, but again, you can make an argument either way. You know, you can absolutely understand why Chelsea fans feel confident and why United fans feel confident.
No, that's fair enough, mate. The big one for you, Sheffield United, Liverpool.
Heaven fucking knows. Honest to God, mate. I'll take Atten. I'll take any 3 points, however they come. So let's say 2-1 to Liverpool.
Ooh, okay, and finish the weekend off on the Monday night game, Everton Southampton.
Another good game, actually, if you're a neutral, to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the confidence they've got from the Merseyside derby win, Calvert-Lewin being back, being involved as well in the penalty in the second incident for them, you know, shows he's a quality player. So let's go for a home win, 2-1.
Okay. Well, thanks again, Craig, for coming on. Really appreciate it, mate. And like I said, we'll be doing this every Tuesday, if that's all right with you, mate.
Yeah, should be fine, mate. I'll always check in a day or two before, just in case something major pops up at my end. But always love coming on, having a chat, buddy.
Thanks very much, mate. And listen, good luck to Liverpool. I hope you get your 3 points and get your season started again, mate. And hopefully get back up there. Hopefully not too much, so that we can try and catch up with you. I don't think so, no, but
I don't know what to expect every week, mate. At this point, you're just waiting for those first 10 minutes to see which Liverpool is showing up.
No, well, we're the same at the moment, so I know exactly how you feel, mate. But listen, have a great rest of the week, mate. Great weekend, and I'll see you next Tuesday in the nicest
no
way.
worries, Terry. Yeah, I like that. Well played. Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Same to you and yours.
Excellent. Thanks, Craig, and I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, mate. Bye. Thanks, everyone. Speak to you soon.